Seriously, like, listen, I know Hitler's done what he's done and that, lad, but imagine how much fun you'd have with Hitler, lad. What's happening, people?
Hello, common scum.
Yes.
Do you like watching our content on YouTube?
For free?
Well, don't.
Scruffy cunts.
Let me tell you why, because we are over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/What's Happening Pod.
Do you think it's called Patreon because they patronise people? Because that's the way you sound.
Back to the common scum. If you're wondering what's on the Patreon,
Tell us, Dan.
shitloads.
Wow.
Shitloads.
There's early access to all of the public episodes like this one, so any episode that gets released on YouTube. if you're thinking,
We're keeping
And
that
your
in.
ass falls out when you can't wait till Thursday because it's too far away.
that's what I mean. If you're thinking, oh, the new episode of the What's Happening podcast isn't out till Thursday. What day is it? It's only Tuesday. You get early access to all of the public episodes, so you get it 2 days earlier.
Ooh.
Not only that,
What else did you get?
Patreon exclusive episodes, which is episodes of the podcast that are only released on Patreon, and that is a lot more personalised to the viewer. We take in fan submissions like stories, questions. We read them out live on the podcast. And there is going to be monthly specials. We're not skint anymore, so we can actually afford to do it. We've just recorded some fucking brilliant ones. There's loads more to come. If you're not on the Patreon, you're missing out. Get on it.
Get over there. And if you're already on the Patreon, thank you.
We love you.
Yeah, you've already fed our egos, and now you're partially feeding my kids. So my kids love you.
Do you
right?
want Daddy's kids to die? No.
Well, there's 4 of them, so I don't mind losing a couple. So
Patreon.com/What's Happening Pod. See us over there.
£4 a month.
Bye.
Hello, welcome back to the What's Happening podcast, episode
66.
yeah, we're welcome back. Hope you've all had a marvellous week. We'll leave it in, but before we get going, I know I don't do the editing, so I'm not complaining, I'm just requesting, but you know, whenever we go, put it on the screen now, can we?
what have we said to put on the screen this
I
time?
can't remember what episode it was. It was the one, not the one that's just released today, the one that released the week before, and I was watching it for stamps. There was about 3 times. I was like, we'll put it on the screen here, and we're talking about it, and there's nothing on the screen. So from now on, we will have visual aids.
I've missed a few. Like when I've been editing, I've put a couple in, but especially now with this new software that we've got,
too easy.
I miss things.
I was thinking like, oh yeah, they make it down, and I was like, it'll be on any second. Let's just wait there.
Well, I think there's actually one this week, I think, because I remember you saying you were going to put things on the screen. I think it was all about like Grail and all that, and I don't think I've done it.
Sorry, Grail.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael.
It's because we had issues with the fucking memory cards this week.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of a nightmare. We finally got it out on the right day. We were going to delay it because we got to like Wednesday and all the files were corrupt and everything. So we had to fucking put the overtime in to try and resolve it. So I didn't really do the quality check. I just made sure it was working.
That's fair.
Where Danny goes, Grail, I put all your stuff on the screen now. It's not on the screen.
But Grail Liverpool for anyone who wants to get the shoes clean.
That was technically from now for everybody watching. That'll have been last week's episode. So forget about that. It's fine. It's fine. But what have you been doing this week, boys? I feel like we talk about so many external things on the podcast and what's going on in the world, but we very rarely ask how each other are doing.
Oh, is this like a pure therapy session?
I mean,
Because I've got some things to get off my chest.
I don't want to hear from you. But I don't know. I feel like we talk about kids jumping off cruise ships in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean who are from Idaho. But
I'm from Idaho.
Good job keeping it on the screen. But we better need to talk about each other.
I know.
What are your hopes and dreams?
Before we talk about each other, have you seen the video of the fella getting scrammed by the shark in Egypt?
Oh, it's hysterical, lad.
Lad, right, and listen, I know we will talk about each other in a sec. I know it's emotional, and he saved his daughter first, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So his daughter was in the sea with him. He got his daughter to safety, and then the shark came and scrammed him, right? And I know it was emotional, and everyone's screaming, but the funniest bit, lad...
When he does the handstand?
When he does the handstand and looks like a synchronised swimmer. Lad, the shark's got him in the air.
Listen, not to get political on you, right? But right, if I'm in the sea with my kid, and a shark comes,
The kid's bait.
lad, listen,
I'm getting out of that water.
I taught myself to swim.
You didn't.
If you have my genes, if you can't do the same, see you later, shark bait.
In it
know
all,
what I mean?
in it
See
all.
you later, fucking Nemo.
That was a heavy
Fish
video,
are friends, not our food.
I
It was heavy, like, but
I was a bit disappointed with the video itself, though.
yeah, I thought it was,
People who were putting it on Twitter were like, "Oh, this is disgusting."
So
And I was like,
graphic.
you're gonna get to see his arms or his face getting bit off, and you couldn't actually really
you
see anything.
see some commotion and his head disappeared every now and then. The cartwheel was the
It
best
was
part
like,
of it.
Oh, the cartwheel was
Yeah,
fucking
it was
marvellous,
genuinely what,
lad.
like, I thought he was gonna have a little peg on his nose, little frilly hat and all that.
Like Austin Powers with the old corn spit
Yeah.
Like, it was heavy. Did you see they hunted the shark down and
see-
killed it?
Yeah, but
For
that-
what? The
like-
damage is already done.
It makes no sense, lad.
Should
Like,
let the daughter bite the shark.
This is for daddy.
This is for dad. She's the Russian, so it doesn't matter.
well, I hope he wasn't Russian enough because it got him.
yes. Like,
But
Lad,
lad, see, like, this is the thing, lad. You cannot kill a shark because someone, like, I'd imagine it's the middle of the night and some fella walks in your living room.
and yeah, well, that's what people were saying. It's like, why are you gonna go into the shark's home and then flip when a shark eats you?
Yeah, and then as well as that, how do you
No, but hang on a minute,
you know,
no,
it's the
no,
same shark?
No, slamming in reverse for a minute, right? Because we spoke about this in the past. Like, if someone breaks into your house and you fucking attack them and you inflict serious damage on them,
Oh yeah,
if you're downstairs, you're liable and you can get done.
Yeah.
Because they're not threatening you. So,
to just
It could have been
the
in
shark,
the Livy.
the shark's protecting its own. Yeah, but so what?
imagine walking into
Downstairs.
the seen a shark though. Whoa.
Like, oh, what's that?
What was that? What was that
Where's
cartoon
the
with
dog?
the fella had the big shark? What was it?
Jason Statham, the Meg.
No, not. It was a cartoon. It was like something like Biker Mike from Mars or something. Biker Mice from Mars or something like that. With the big shark fellas who used to walk around. Ah,
Showing your age, yeah.
yeah,
lad.
I'm gonna get it. Go on, keep talking.
Well,
But yeah.
lads, so I get on this, right?
Go
So I've been in work this week, right? And there's so we're on like the 9th floor of like the exchange flags. So there's been a seagull that's been like chilling there, right? Just doesn't move. Just
Street
stays there.
sharks, that's it. Imagine street sharks just turned up to yours, lad. Just fellas walking around with big shark heads.
I don't know that it is.
Is
Is that
in
something
the-
like
it's in the
used to watch?
90s.
Oh yeah, no.
When was you born?
97.
97.
Was you? My half fellow was dead before you were born. It's everything.
But yeah,
Go on.
there's a seagull who's in my work, right?
In me work.
Yeah, it's it's
Supervisor.
it comes in the it's on the computers and that.
Got its own office. You put a knock on that.
Right. So whenever you go to the toilet, like in the window, it's got like it's got its own babies. So do you know if you go in the kitchen, so
Kill
people are being whenever you go into the kitchen, people like the people who work with go, oh, stick your head out the window and go and have a look at that. So when you're sticking your head out and have a look at the birds flying at you trying to peck you
Well, lad-
because it thinks you're trying to hurt it, lad.
Well,
it is the funniest thing ever.
In work, right? So we've like,
What a magpie works with them.
we can get on the roof, right, and we can walk. So it's a massive factory where I work. So like to get through the factory, you've got to go fucking through all different mazes and all that because it's a big production facility. So there's a shortcut on the roof where you can just do the length of the factory across the roof. But like on one part of the roof, all the seagulls nest up there.
Mm-hmm.
So we were up there the other day, and one of the maintenance fellas was like, "Listen," he went, "All the seagulls nest up there." He went, "This time of year, the nest," and he said, "When we walk past now," he said, "the mum will like fly out and kind of just like flap at you and like shout at you. But if you just keep walking,
Fuck off!
if you just keep walking, it'll be sound." He said, "Don't put your hard hat on." He said, "We found out for whatever reason, anyone who has a hard hat on, she swings down and like attacks your head." And I was like, "What if you baldy? Do you reckon a baldy fella's robbed the eggs or something?" And she just associates a white fucking hard that with some baldy fella. Well, lad, he was like, I was walking and she was just wah! And I was like, "Oh, she's gonna fucking get me, lad." I was like, "Shit, fucking hard, lad, that's scary."
Lad, listen,
Cunts.
listen. I've said it for a while now.
Flashbacks.
Yeah,
I've said it for a while that they're starting to become a problem, lad. And it's not just a case of like I know magpies are horrible and like they kill like baby animals and that, and but like seagulls,
magpies do.
yeah,
They kill baby animals.
like magpies, lad, magpies are horrible, bro.
They ki-
I don't know why we salute them.
I know.
But
is that do you do that?
yeah, lad, I only allow myself two
One that out
superstitions.
for joy.
I only allow myself two superstitions.
Wait, let me guess them. Let's make it a bit more interesting.
Okay.
So you only, what you say? You only allow two.
I'm not a superstitious person. As Michael Scott said, I'm a little stitious.
I know one.
Well, it's the magpie.
What?
Well, it's the magpie.
So it's the magpie one.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know the other one.
The other one, walking on 3 grids.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Is
Oh,
it?
okay. I ain't gonna say that.
I won't walk on 3 grids.
I was gonna say-
always salute it. If it's more than one magpie, you don't need to because there's one for salute for joy. Of course, it's science.
I thought I thought that was just like what, because my bird does that every time she's a magpie. She's saluting. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And she, like, why are you saying hello?
Well, apparently it's. Oh, I don't say hello. I'm not. I'm not a
I just go when I'm in a park. I see.
Because she's woke.
1 for silver, 6 for gold. You know what I mean? I do the full rhyme, even though I've just forgot it then.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh yeah.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
1 for
out.
sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told.
What if there's 8?
What is 8?
You'll
What
never
is
see
8 in the magpie rhyme?
You'll never see 8 because that's when there's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
You'll never see 8
If
of them.
you see 8 magpies, you know something's up, lad.
Morpheus is behind you with the 2 pills and that. You know, in your foot.
It is time. But no,
His beard salutes them because she's woke because the fucking the multicultural, because the black and white, aren't they?
Because all lives matter.
My bird sees them and does the crit walk. What was I gonna say? Yeah, all right then. Well, I've got some. What's my I've got one superstition that I always keep on top of.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well,
Walk on the ladders.
Okay.
no.
Okay.
There's not. There's never. I mean, I probably wouldn't
Cross
do
people
it
on the
anyway.
stairs.
No.
Oh yeah, I don't do that
My
either.
ma doesn't
I
like
can't because I'm fat.
that. My ma doesn't like that one. My ma.
Yeah.
tells me
Okay.
to go
Sorry,
back
I've got
upstairs.
3. Then I won't do that.
Go on.
Ooh, what else is the? What other superstitions is the?
It's a
Ooh.
bit of it. It's not obvious, but like when they say, you go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you know what?
I don't
Should
like
we-
to cross like lampposts.
So you won't split.
Won't
either
split a
side?
lamppost.
Oh, with someone?
Yeah, won't split a lamppost.
So on a bar split a lamppost, right? My ma's second husband fucking split his face on a lamppost that was boss. we used to go fishing to Nugent Park, right? And when we couldn't afford a taxi, we'd go on our pedal bikes and just pack light. And because he didn't drive, because he was a tramp. And we went one day and he was with his mate Tony Dairband, and they were both on their pedal bikes, right? And he had like his rod strapped to the side of his bike, and he had his backpack on and all that. And I was on my little bike at the back, like I follow him. And them two were just like talking, cycling down Nugent Park. And I was like, oh, I fucking lad. And instead, ding! He fucking just went bang right into his wheel, just missed the lamppost, and he just swatted it. Burst all his head open. It was the funniest thing ever, lad.
Right, you know, just as I went to Google this year,
Go on.
someone screenshotted the story we just put on of me. I've got a screenshot of this and we'll put it on the screen.
No!
He said, Danny never made it as a wise man.
Never waited as a boss man.
Couldn't get it as a podcast.
What was his name? Fucking Chad Kroger or something?
Fucking Shaddy's
He got voted the ugliest man in music, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 1 year. That's
What's the other tune? Was it Photograph?
Yeah.
No,
Look at this photograph!
But you know what? One of my favourite videos of all time is that it's the stupidest video ever.
Graph.
It's just, look at this graph! And he's just got a graph in the face, man. It's fucking brilliant, you know? Right, yeah. Common superstitions. So, 18 superstitions, yeah, from around the world. Oh, we'll get a bit of superstition culture.
Culture.
Oh yeah, so
Cultistism.
it says, irrational as they may be, we all have a superstition or two. Or if you're adventurous, maybe 3. Let's put that bit in for the rhyme. It says, whether it's a lucky pair of pants or an aversion to Friday the 13th, superstitions are important to us because they give meaning to the often random nature of luck and put us in the driving seat of our own destiny.
Lovely.
Here we run through the surprising cultural histories behind some of the world's most common supernatural beliefs.
Okay.
Supernatural beliefs.
Knocking on wood, so you got touch wood.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't
touch
that-
Oh yeah. Do you know
That's
what?
the
I do
first
do
one.
that
I
actually.
forgot about that one.
I wanna knock on wood. What's this one? Throwing salt over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I've always wondered that. Apparently, if you're eating and you spill salt on the table, it's bad luck, and you've got to.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
so,
got it.
isn't, it,
Yeah.
isn't it right over left or?
Yeah, something stupid
One of
like
them.
that.
Fuck
Yeah.
knows, lad.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's gay, lad. It
Great.
says perhaps the next most common superstition, at least in the West, involves tossing salt over one's shoulder. It's like knocking on wood. This superstition also involves the idea of warding off evil. In this case, the devil himself. In Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper,
Is the devil a slug and scare the
so-
soul?
Yeah.
The salt
Je-
demon.
Jesus' betrayer, Judas Iscariot, whatever the fuck Judas'
Sound, yeah.
name was, our kid.
Good chat, lad.
He's portrayed as having accidentally spilled salt since Judas was associated with doing something bad. The argument goes that ipso facto, so was salt, and throwing it over your shoulder would blind the devil waiting
Do you
there.
reckon it was originally cocaine, not salt? And that's
It
why
depends
Judas
how
is a
active the
cokehead.
Last Supper was, because obviously if Jesus knows he's getting pelted
I've seen the
next
picture of the
day-
Last Supper on our podcast Instagram, and it looks heavy. There's 110s and everything.
It's cool, lads. I think I'm sure you've got a dildo in your hand on that picture as well. It wasn't Gary, you made it, I don't
The
think.
lad in work made it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks.
Thank you.
Benedict, he was just... I just sent him a
Eggs
picture.
Benedict.
Yeah, Eggs Benedict.
Is that his actual name?
His name's Benedict Y. W-Y-E.
W-Y-E. Oh, Benedict. What?
Y.
Why?
Y.
Why is his name that, lad?
Oh, yeah. So you know the story behind, like, why a broken mirror's bad luck?
Oh, go on.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
on
shit
this.
broken mirrors.
So this is actually an ancient Greek/Roman superstition.
Okay.
It says the belief is that a broken mirror brings bad luck to most. Brings bad luck. You haven't put a full stop in it, it threw me off. Most likely has its origins in the simple fact that the reflections of ourselves are uncanny and often unnerving, particularly on a bad hair day in brackets.
Have you ever
It
heard?
says.
Sorry, go on.
Black
so
cats.
it says, so humans have long had associations with them. Take, for example, the Greek myth of Narcissus, the idea that a crack in the mirror would somehow break its charm or trap one's soul.
Have you ever heard this one? So this got me thinking about, because you said mirrors. I was reading something, and I don't know how true it is, but apparently, do you know if there was like another version of yourself, like let's just say you got cloned,
Yeah,
if you were to walk past him in the street,
you wouldn't recognise
you wouldn't
them.
recognise him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
There's science behind that.
Yeah, it does like it
Well-
might be a real thing.
like, I hate the sound of my own voice. So I think everyone does when you watch a video or
Video,
hear a
yeah, yeah.
recording
Gary,
back.
you're on a podcast
I know.
with headphones on,
Yeah.
linked to your mic.
No, but like, because when and there's a science behind it, it's to do with like the vibration. I'm not 100% so sure, so I'm chatting shit probably, but there is a scientific point behind it where it's like vibrations of how you perceive your own
Yeah.
voice. So like, I sound to me much deeper than I actually am.
Yeah.
So when
Oh,
I watch
true.
a video or hear like
what you mean,
audio
bud.
back, I go, fucking, I'm dead squeaky. When I'm talking, I feel like it's deeper. And it's true that no one can actually hear their real voice. And then I started thinking about it, right? How do people do impressions then? Because if you're hearing a famous person
yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
and you're going, like, that's their voice, you doing that impression, you're listening to yourself do that impression to try and gauge it.
So what then are you
How do
saying?
you get it right?
So what are you saying, that it's got to be bullshit then?
No, because it's proven that it's fact.
So what though?
But
So
an impression must be a fucking skill. Then how
But
do you get it? It's mad.
if someone was playing a video,
Yeah.
and I wasn't watching it but heard it, I'd be like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you was to hear your voice back on a video, it is you? Or do you mean if you're... So me speaking now, I think I sound different to what I actually sound like to you?
Yeah, so you later when you get home, talk to yourself, right? Don't get locked up.
Do that anyway.
Talk to yourself.
I do quite
And then,
So do I, yeah.
and then watch a video straight away, and you'll hear differences in your voice, your tone, your pitch.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like it's not a deep voice where I'm like, oh, fucking alright, lad.
Yeah.
It's not like that, but I feel like I've got a deep voice, and then I hear a video, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, ooh.
Yeah,
do you
I
know
feel
what
like I
I
have
mean?
my moments. mate.
Yeah, do you know? Speaking of talking to yourself, right? I
Mhm.
I got caught talking to myself once, right?
I've
when
been
I-
called plenty of times.
when I was in one of my many previous jobs. So like I went to the kitchen on my dinner to make a cup of tea.
As you do.
Cup of tea.
And I can't remember exactly what had happened, but our kid had pissed me off. So I was gonna say something to him when I got in, but obviously like
You got to rehearse that shit.
yeah, and like because obviously like you know your brother better than you know anyone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I know if I say this, how he's gonna try and come back. So I'm in the kitchen, right? So the way you walk in, you do a little right. There's the kitchen bit there, and like a little seating bit behind the kitchen, but you could see in.
Yeah.
But I didn't look in the seating bit. So I'm there making this cup of tea, and I'm like, yeah, but lad, you're being a fucking knobhead because you've done this and he asked you not to. And I'm like, well, lad, I'm not being a knobhead, lad. All I've done was da-da-da. And I'm having a full argument with myself, responding and then responding back and then getting angrier as the responses go on. And then
You're going, as if he said that to Seagull.
at this point, I'm fuming, right?
What?
Yeah, I'm fuming in this argument with myself, right? And then I turned around with this cup of tea and the fella who we were on the same workbench, he's sitting there, he went, "You like that?" And I was like, "Jamie?" And just walked straight out. I was like, I am off. It was horrible.
There's a lad I used to work with. He used to talk to himself all the time, right? But he left himself a note, right? So he was on Friday night shift, right? So he was a picker in logistics. So he'd pick all the parts ready to be sequenced to line. And he was doing overtime on Saturday morning. And we come in and we got there before him Saturday. And he'd been on late on Friday and was doing the overtime Saturday. And on his workstation there was a note. I think his name was, I'm gonna say Craig, right? And it was like, all right, Craig, had a boss shift last night, lad. Fucking went well, went quite smooth. Ended on sequence 927. Hope you have a good shift today, lad. Love you lots, Craig. And I was like, he just left himself a fucking note, lad.
I respect it.
And then he got sacked because he went into the kitchen and poured a full bottle of salt in the kettle.
Did he leave himself a note saying that as well?
No.
Hey, Craig, boss shift.
Don't make a brew.
Don't have a brew.
Get some salt. There's no salt left for anyone.
don't have a brew. No, everyone pissed him off, so he went and poured salt in the kettles when they made cups of tea. They were all like choking and all that.
Do you know what
It's dangerous, that, wasn't it?
Do you know what I done years ago, right? When I
Can
went
kill you,
to,
though, can it?
Yeah.
when I went to see Eminem in Wembley years ago, the lad who I used to be mates with.
I've got a picture of that.
We were in. Oh, don't you fucking dare!
I've got a picture.
Put it on the screen. No.
I haven't got the
Don't.
Hey, I haven't got. So yeah, if I take a picture of myself, yeah. Right,
Nice.
because it saved as like a snip. Go on, tell you.
So yeah, so anyway, me and him had because like, we were only like fucking 16. So his mum and dad were like, if he's going to London, like he was adopted, so his mum and dad were like, if he's going to London.
Who's that?
It's Danny, but like it's me, because
It looks like your kid.
Let me see. Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Oh, lad.
Put it on the screen. Go and save that. Put it on the screen.
Send me a...
But yeah, so anyway, so
You are like a fine wine. You have
I've aged well. I've aged well. I used to be an ugly little cunt, lad.
you were an ugly little motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, lad, I'm not saying I'm an oil painting now, but I'm just better than I was, though, at the very least.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You're a
so
Jordan.
we're in this hotel room. So me and him had to share the fucking hotel room, and then his mum and dad were down the fucking hall in a different hotel. They actually came with us as well. I got off and went and just stood somewhere else. So I was like, I'm not standing with his mum and dad fucking getting active till I collapse. You know what I mean? So fucking I had like a big litre bottle of Lucozade, and I was like, wonder what happens if I put Lucozade in the kettle into the water and boil it. I wasn't going to drink it, but I just wanted to know what happened.
I'm very curious now because I've always wanted to know that.
MythBusters!
Enlighten me.
Lad, it was weird. It went to like, because obviously as it starts
Syrup.
getting hotter and it starts fizzing, but it goes dead syrupy. So there was like this fucking fucking red hot.
Because what you're
bubbly
doing,
syrup,
you're boiling
it
and
starts
you're evaporating
overflowing a bit.
you're evaporating the water content
And then
out of it, and then you're keeping all the sugars and all
It
that.
was just like, there was like as you open the kettle, it was like popping up and that, and it was all this
Volcanic
gooey
rocks.
and it was horrible.
I
lad.
had a similar thing where in work, I'd get into work in the morning and I'd have a Brocha tablet, you know, the orange fucking vitamin tablets, and you dissolve it in water. So I'd have one every morning, drop it in my bottle of water, shake it, let it dissolve, drink it. And then one morning I come in and I had sparkling water, and I was like, oh, get me Brocha out, and I thought, Brocha and sparkling water, they're a big fan of that, I'd be sick that. And I put it in and it just went fucking everywhere. Like, time to get the lid on, it was to be fucking laptop and everything. Fucking everywhere, lad. Like,
Do you like sparkling water?
Yeah.
You'd get a bottle of sparkling water
Yeah,
and
I was
drink
in
it.
the shop before and I said to him, should I get a bottle of sparkling water?
Nonce.
And he was like, sorry.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I like sparkling water.
I don't like sparkling
I like
water.
tonic water as well, and soda water.
What's the difference? I thought they were all the same. They all just taste
Just
like
put-
pins and needles.
Yeah.
They do, don't
Tastes
they?
like static.
Yeah,
innit?
one's like a far flavour, the other one's not. But yeah, that's what my Brocha like. This is fucking hilarious. There's a charity in Liverpool called An Hour for Others, right? And the founder, Kev, I used to work with him. Good fella, really good fella. And he went and done a bike ride across Jordan, like fucking out in the Middle East or whatever it is. Yeah, Jordan was knackered last time. But Kev done it to like raise money for like Marie Curie because his mum had just like passed away from cancer.
Yeah.
But he wasn't training or not, and he was like, yeah, just fucking went on this bike. So we were all these athletes who were like fucking flying, and they got there one day, and he got to like this one point, and like one of the guides was coming around giving everyone rehydration tablets like Brocha. Like, you pop it in your drink, you drink it, and you fucking hydrate much faster.
Why does Brocha give you like?
Well,
more
it wasn't Brocha itself, but like Brocha's vitamin.
yeah.
But it was a rehydration tablet that you dissolve in your water, like Brocha, to drink.
Like them Lucozade glucose
Yeah,
tablets
yeah.
from years ago.
And she come up to him and was like, do you want one? And he went, yeah, go ahead, sound. Took it off it and just went and put it in his mouth. And he said, he just started foaming. And she was like, you alright? Do you know what that is? He went, yeah, I always eat them like this. He's panicked, lad. He was foaming because he put it in his mouth and it was just fizzing everywhere.
them glucose tablets.
They don't dissolve. They were just eating
Yeah,
ones.
you could eat
Oh,
them.
oh,
So I used to eat them.
them.
When
No.
I seen the fucking cogs.
yeah, I was sitting there and I was like,
Oh,
right.
we should have blagged his head. Nah, you've been eating them, scruff.
Like, yeah, I want to go back to some superstitions actually, like, because some of these, by the looks of it,
Do you know
have
what-
actually got some interesting.
Do you know what's funny though? By the way, we start. How long have we been recording?
29.
29 minutes. Like half an hour in. Danny started it by going, "Let's talk about us," and we've not spoken about us once.
Yeah, but I don't like it. Okay,
Superstitions, go on.
I don't think we're 29 in though.
Yeah, no, we were
We
talking for
think
ages.
we started
right.
at 10.
So it says, yeah, step on a crack and you'll break your fat mother's back. The website's weird. It's not
Talking
mine,
about cracks, right? My ma fell over years ago over like a cracked paving, and she tried to put a claim in for it against the council. So they were like, "You need to go and get a photograph and measure how uneven it is. Like, put something next to it for reference." My ma like put a ciggy next to it for reference. I was like, "You're from a council."
No, that reminds me of, have you ever seen the video with that fella?
Did she put a rollie there to make the crack look more severe so it was a bit thinner?
Yeah.
The video with the fella and he's like lying on the floor and there's like a wire coming off the lamppost. And he's lying there, he's going, and then he's going, lad, I'm recording you for the busies now. And you're all right though? And he's going, yeah, fucking Sammy, lad, fucking claim this, lad.
Right, so, step on a crack, break your fat, ugly whore of a mother's back.
Is that what it says?
Get a bit
No,
more
it just
detail.
says mother's back.
Oh,
It says, another superstition involving something cracked or broken being associated with bad luck is the superstition of stepping on a crack as foretelling or even causing harm to a family member. As with cracked mirrors, cracks in earth or on a sidewalk or almost anywhere, and have long been seen as portals to the realm of the supernatural for both good and bad.
I just thought it was the council doing a bad job.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know Satan had anything to do with the pavement. It says to step on those cracks might not be to invite. It might be to invite or release the unwelcome spirits into the world that would do one harm. So it's actually got nothing to do with your mum.
it's nothing to do with your ma. But why is he breaking your ma's back then? It's just because it's a family member.
I know.
And this is why I hate some superstitions, because he just chat pure shit, lad.
Yeah, it is. Isn't
Pure
it?
wham.
Fucking.
Wham!
What's the
Whammy!
What's the horseshoe?
It says the most famous story of a horseshoe bringing good luck, however, refers to the story of Saint Dunstan, who apparently worked as a blacksmith prior to attending sainthood.
White Smith's available too.
Yeah, it's all races of Smith. It says the story goes that one day the devil rode into Dunstan's shop requesting new shoes for his horse. Dunstan, recognising the devil, as you would, he's got horns. It says he played it off nonchalantly, and then rather than nailing the shoes to the horse, nailed one to the devil's foot instead. In agony, the devil agreed never to enter the house with a horseshoe nailed above a door if Dunstan would simply agree to remove the shoe.
I'd love to know who come up with this though.
Yeah,
Like,
who's the
where's it
fucking
just come from? Like, all-
lunatic who made that
All
up?
these mad old wives' tale. Like, is there just one
So
woman who's an
many.
old wife, just like, right, horseshoes?
Do you reckon, right? I reckon that one back in the day from St. Dunstan, who was the blacksmith. I reckon, the other way now, if you want to market something, you've got social media to do it for you. I reckon back in the day, to spread the word far and wide, you had to be like, oh, get on this, yes, I'm there, blacksmithing away. Next minute, who walks in? Only the devil.
Only
what
Lucifer himself.
Yeah, and what you're thinking is, St. Dunstan. Did you shit yourself? I did the fucking... What happened to him, right? As I go to put the shit on his horse, right?
I've tricked the devil himself.
Typical Dunstan. I've nailed it in his foot. What's he done? Legged it. He's like, and then he said to
But
me...
I can follow him because I can hear him.
Yeah. And then he said to me, hey, listen, any asses with a horseshoe above the door, I shall not pass.
I don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
Not a
So
chance.
all you need to repel the purest form of evil in the spiritual and physical world is a metal horseshoe.
Put one on me coffin, lad.
Yeah.
Going to a good place.
I thought you said cock then.
Pin the horseshoe on the coffin.
I want to see one more interesting superstition, then if nothing jumps out.
Why are they all looking like bullshit?
Yeah, they are. They
Stevie Wonder on there.
chewing gum at night. I'm not even it's gonna not do with me that.
Remember eating cheese? You had bad dreams. That's it.
That is
Oh yeah,
actually
if you
true.
eat cheese after 8 o'clock, you'll have nightmares.
What do you mean that's actually true? Have you had cheese and had a bad dream once?
No, but I just thought it sounded more true.
Mm.
Can eating cheese cause acne?
Give you nightmares.
Give you nightmares.
Nightmares.
It says the myth-busting study. Okay, no, then it can't.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even gonna read the rest of it. We know what it
Don't
says.
need to read
And no, it
anymore.
fucking can't.
Not
Leave
investing
it
in
where it
his
is.
cheese ball
Do you know
before
what,
bed.
like, just got me thinking then, in that split second I had to think.
Go on.
You know the programme MythBusters?
Yes.
Love it.
They've got great show.
You
but-
look like the fella from it.
Nice one.
He has got a little bit of a
You
look
have,
from it
you
though.
know,
Like,
you have.
you have.
I love
I
MythBusters.
reckon you've got to be a proper miserable cunt to come up with the idea for that programme, no? Like, you know, all mad things that people are just like, oh, get on that, how cool is this? Imagine being
it's
the one to
not.
go, no, it's not true. And I'm going to prove that it's not.
Yeah,
Imagine
all
being
right.
him.
Nah, they're just. Yeah, I get it. Like, they're not boring, but they're just assholes. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they're probably
yeah.
intelligent
It's like,
pieces
like,
of shit.
Oh my god, you know, if you like put your like put skates on with like these like flames behind it, like you'll go 10 miles an hour faster and they'll go, well, you don't.
Yeah.
You little dickhead. No, fucking do it now.
Some little 8-year-old kid telling his mate he's in tears.
I've got these springs on my shoes and it makes me jump 10.
No.
No, they don't! Dickhead! They're coming over with the spring on the boot, you fucking little wanker.
And then he's like, that's to the kid. He's going to the kid. Hey, listen, right. Just do us a favour. Pretend you're my nephew, right? And then you go, hey, aren't you my nephew? Go, yeah, go on. Nah, you're not, lad.
No,
Lad,
Pretend you're my cousin,
Lad,
lad.
we used to do that all the time. We used to have this thing all the time, right? I say we used to, it used to get done to me.
Yeah.
But like people would come over and they'd be like, hey, isn't my fella busy? Doesn't my dad work for the police? And they'd be with a few of the mates and they'd be like, oh yeah. They'd be like, lad, no, he doesn't, you cheeky cunts. And
I got some birds in college with the good ones, you know, in front of
Lad.
everyone. I was going, hey,
Daddy.
she just walked in the room. though.
Listen, I have never laughed. I still
Lad.
remember, right? It was that perfect, right? If you ever laughed that hard, your knees give in and you just hit the deck, right? And listen, this girl hated us anyway.
yeah, she- yeah,
And,
yeah,
do you know what, to this
I'm
day,
surprised she even said yes. To be fair.
yeah, to this day, I still don't know why she hated me and him. She just,
yeah,
she just hated us.
Yeah, because we wasn't very nice. Not that we weren't nice. We were just a pair of rascals.
Pair of wind up
Yeah,
bitches.
just wind ups. She literally.
If you
was
just rascal.
everyone was in there having a dinner, right? And I was just sitting there talking to him. She walked in. I went, "Yeah, get on this." And she went,
Nah, we walked in. She was sat with all her mates.
"Oh yeah,
Because
okay."
there weren't that many people in there. There was just a group of mates there at the back.
And I went,
Another little group,
"Hey,
yeah.
hey." Said the name. Won't say it for copyright.
Taylor
purposes.
Campbell.
Okay.
Definitely.
Said it. And I went, "Hey,
Fuck you.
I went, hey, Taylor," and she's there, and I went, I'm saying to these now, like, aren't you my fucking cousin? And I'm going, and she went, yeah, and I went, you're not. But lad, it
No,
was,
he said it
was
with such
him.
conviction. Because everyone was looking around the room like, oh my God, she must be his cousin. She was going, yeah, no, I am. She was going, on your mum's side, yeah, on your mum's side, He went, in it though, because he was going, right, me and him had walked in and he was going, he just went to me, I don't even know how he come up with it, like, he just went to me, go along with this. And I just went, okay, and he was like, Danny doesn't believe me. He's like, aren't you me? And she go, on your mum's side, yeah, on your mum's side, yeah. And she just went, lad, it was the way you said it. You just went, you're not. I just went, and I just hit the deck. I was on the floor. I was on the floor going, couldn't breathe. And you said, you fucking dickhead.
It was boss, you know. There's so much conviction in it. It was like, yeah, on your mum. Yeah.
On your mum's side,
Oh,
yeah.
is she?
Yeah.
She's okay now.
Because your mum and my dad, they're brother and sister.
Why is she still in the
They're
IRA?
proper soblums. Proper
They go to
soblums.
church together. They love each other, yeah.
Where I've been at family parties and I'm like, who's that walking in? And there it is. It's fucking you.
My family member.
My fucking cousin.
Well, you do.
She's not even Irish. She's not even Irish.
My fucking I'm fucking stuck.
Lad, besides it, no.
Listen, right? There's another instance of us adding an accent to someone who's never had that accent,
Go on,
right?
go on.
And you'll remember this as soon as I start saying
Why'd
it.
you give your dog a German accent on stage on Tuesday night?
Yeah, because I say he's anti-Semitic
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's a German Shepherd.
Ah,
There's a whole thing. Come and see me live.
Comedy.
I'm an unbelievable performer. But, right, so me and him used to work together in a call centre, right? And,
Oh, okay.
right, so
we're, yeah.
so did you still work there when she left? Because she did leave.
The Tubster.
Is this one who stinks?
No, this is the one in Oman Bargain. She used to fucking.
I think, yeah. Ice Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her name was Pam, right?
Pam, you saying Pam or Pan?
Pan. Big fat Pam. And she was a big fat cunt. And I've got nothing against fat people, but she was big, she was fat, and she was a cunt.
She was a bit of an arsehole.
She was a cunt.
She was.
And so, but like,
But she spoke normal.
Yeah.
But not to me and him. She had a fucking deep Scottish accent. She never. It just looked like she did.
There wasn't a hint of Scotland in this woman.
Scotland.
Right? Nothing. Right? But for some
haggis.
reason, whenever we would tell her stories, it was like,
becomes
what the fuck are you doing?
Every time, there's this fucking woman in work. She grabbed me. They was like, put your phone on the book. No. She didn't even have the accent.
She was weird though, because rather than just saying, hey, do us a favour, don't go on your phones at your desk or leave them in your bag, she'd make us put them in a little Tupperware.
Oh, lad.
And we could only have them back on a break.
Is that the one when your phone got broke?
Yeah, lad, I'm still fuming about that, you fat slag. Right, there was one day, I just got my screen fixed, right? About 2 days before, I was made up, screen's fixed, my phone's not cracked anymore. I didn't feel like one of those little slags with a cracked screen. and then we goes in one more and she's like, get your fucking phone in the box. So I put my phone. I said to her like, nah, I've just had my screen fixed. You just throw phones in there. No, she's like, get your fucking phone in the box now and get out of my swamp.
And then no Alan Hansen was your supervisor.
I reluctantly puts my phone in the box, goes to get it back on my break from fucking top to bottom corner, big crack, and I was like, Pam, you fucking slag. Why is my phone cracked? She's like, I don't fucking know. But no, there was one day, right? There was one day, lad. She fucking...
The fucking British Isles.
Lad,
she kicked
there
off.
was one day.
Lad,
it
never
was
heard nothing like it. Kick off
over the most minuscule thing.
Oh,
really?
wow, yeah.
It was middle of summer, right?
Yeah.
The office didn't have any aircon either. If you remember, the office was fucking roasting.
Sweating all the time.
She'd come in with a box of ice pops for the office and put them in the freezer in like the little staff room, right? But every like 10 minutes, me and him, because they made the mistake at first of sitting us next to each other.
Yes.
Like, don't do that.
And then they made the other mistake of bringing ice pops in a hot office with people where me and him are. You know what I mean?
So me and him seeing it as a competition of, let's see how few ice pops the rest of the room can get. So every 10 minutes, right, me and him like proper like nail ice pops dead quick, and then like one at a time, we'd be like, right, you go and grab 2 more. I'll have a cola one. And get us a strawberry one. So we've ate, like, I think there was about fucking 20 ice pops in the box.
Off it and everything, like.
There was about 20 ice pops in this box, like, between the two of us. We had about 17 of them, right? She went in the staff room, because she was a fat cunt, so she went in there to get like 9 ice pops. And then she's come back in and been like, with the box, with only like 4 ice pops left in it. Shaking it.
You ate my ice pops!
Lad. Who's ate all the ice pops? And the sitting there going like that, with fucking
rappers everywhere.
Me and him have got like blue tongues and everything on all the shit like that. No one man.
I've got brain freeze, something like that, man. He's having to try and explain what's going on. I can't move.
That was the weirdest.
Stephen Hawking like that.
And she's like, where the fuck are my ice pops? So I'm a fuming about them. Me and him were sitting there going, and then who was he? And it was fucking Wick. Like,
Wick.
So like, there was this fella who worked there. I think I've told you about Wick, but if you don't know, there was this fella who worked there.
Everyone knows about Wes.
His name was Wes, but he had a lisp, so we called him Wick. Right, as you do, comedic geniuses. And I'm sure Wes was like, I think Danny's had a few cola ones. I was like, lad, you fucking little bug eye, shut your mouth.
So bad,
people like that, you know.
Yeah, he was so bad
for fucking grass.
You got me sacked him.
There's a mad job, that lad. You know, we should never have been allowed to ever like work with each other and ever man sit with each other in a job. It was like, because we were doing life insurance. It'd be like, say like his phone would ring and then he'd answer it. I'd just go popcorn. And he'd have to get popcorn in the sentence somewhere, like as many times as you possibly could. He'd have to get popcorn in the sentence.
I love shit like that.
Listen, I've been having a look at your records today. It says that you're 50 popcorn on your birthday. Like, just you're waffling loads of shit. You're trying to get it involved as many times as you could. Remember, I got pulled into the office once because I was on the phone to this, like, I was on the phone to like a Scottish fella.
You were listening to your call?
You were listening to me call and didn't realise. And he's going, you got fucking nothing better to do. And I was going, who the fuck are you speaking to? And I was giving it back in his own accent. And I've just seen this head just pop and go, can you come in the office, please? So I was like, all right, Dan, you come in. He's like, didn't know you were Scottish, Bobby. And I went, oh.
I don't know what and he used to do it all the time. Like, one of the phones would ring and we just say an accent. We'd be like, Geordie. I mean, that's be like, yeah, Reed, love, I'm just contacting you about your life insurance. And you're like, I haven't got life insurance. And I'm like,
that's the point.
It might be you. But fucking, lad, wait. Right, he probably still works there now, you fucking little dog, right? He got me sacked him, right? Listen, right, he was a grass.
Yeah, he was.
He was a grass. He was a fucking horrible grass.
Them, like,
was it over his dog?
Oh, yeah, about the dog. But, like, he wasn't even a supervisor. He didn't get paid any more than us.
He was just one. Yeah, he wanted to be an upper.
Yeah.
Listen, so I'm one of them. Do you know if you were in a job and you've done something that could cause like fucking death to someone or something?
Yeah.
Not even saying being a grass, but being like, listen, he's fucked up there. Like it needs to go and get fixed or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the shit that.
People
used to grass over it. It's like, oh, he's took the fucking batteries out of that. What the bullshit
Like
stuff.
that shit, like who ate the ice pops and
Yeah, like fucking gotta get.
Danny's had a couple of cold ones there.
honestly, I'd be pockets were just full of rappers.
Right, so interesting one for you.
Oh, yeah.
We've a game. People who made and created the game have reached out to us. They're called Silly Squabbles from Austin, Texas. Right, so I'll explain the parameters of the game. They've made us a few little personalised cards.
You've customised it as well, so like it's relating to the podcast. And
I shouldn't really look at them ones actually. So,
No,
So is this game released or it's going to be released?
I think it. So
developing a new game.
When I've went on their Instagram.
What's the game called?
Silly Squabbles.
Silly Squabbles. Right. So
Silly Squabbles.
The aim of the game, and I was even looking at the Instagram as well. So what they do is they give you character cards, so it can be like The Rock or SpongeBob, and then you've got Wes, others, and they've got other sets of cards that's like a scenario. So it would be like, who would survive longest in a zombie apocalypse? So like, I'll have a character card, Danny will have a character card, and then me and him have to argue on who. I don't even think it's like, so say if you had someone, I'm like, oh, yours would definitely win in that.
Yeah.
I can't even. I've got to be like,
Yeah. You've got to fight the point.
You've got to fight your point. You want to win. Like even if your person is shit, you've still got to. You've got to back your point.
Yeah, and then let's say for example, Gary's the judge, right? Yeah. He reads out the scenario card. Yeah. Then me and Bobby, it's like, let's say who'd survive a zombie apocalypse longer. Even if our characters are shit, we've got a proper case in point fight that fella's corner, and then you've got to decide. Even if right, my character's terrible and is his boss, but I've made the better argument to my character.
Got the most convincing argument.
I say, question is, who would survive in a zombie apocalypse? Mm-hmm. You've got Chuck Norris and you've got Mr. Blobby. Yeah. But if you argue the toss about Mr. Blobby and make a more damning, compelling argument to me, I go, ooh. Face value, I was going with Chuck Norris, but you've made a good point there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So then me and Bobby,
that's intriguing.
Have a silly squabble.
Let's have a squabble.
Squabble. That's the noise I make when I walk. So squabble.
I'll split that like that, so we'll take a middle card, right? So I'll pick a character.
Do you want me to take the question card?
Are these the question cards?
Yeah. Don't have a look at your character yet, though.
Okay.
So take one. Don't have a look, right? So
it's a squabble card.
It's a squabble.
It's a squabble card.
Right.
This only got delivered today. They said they were sending it a few weeks ago. It's come all the way from
I got the email and it was just like, because I thought they were going to go to my Mars because my Mars address is registered for most of the things in this podcast. And then they sent us a picture going, here's what it is. And it's just your leafy fence. And I was like, it's Danny. Right. So, squabble card. So I read this out now.
Yeah. So is this the scenario?
This is the scenario. Silly squabbles. Who would have been more fun to have as a cousin when you were growing up?
Okay, right.
The girl in college.
Slag!
Right. So,
Taylor. Oh, he's broke. He's gone.
Read yours first.
A sex therapist.
Hitler.
There's no competition there.
Oh, I'll make it a competition.
Let's go then.
Let's have a silly squabble.
Right, who would you want to grow up with?
Who would be more fun to have as a cousin?
Listen, say what you want about Hitler. I know he's a bad guy and that, right? But think of the amount.
This is public.
Listen, I know he was a bad guy and he done what he done and that, but lad, he's family. He's like, well, he's not family. I wanted them to be family.
Fiore.
Yeah, me Fiore. But if you got to think about it like this, even though we done all that bad shit, imagine the amount of dough he had and like the things he used to do with that money, like while he weren't killing Jews and that.
A reasonable point and a well-made argument. Do you know, I like this game because man says sex therapist and in brackets, nice. So, the reason I think it would have been great to have a sex therapist as a cousin when you're a kid is because we've all been 14-year-old lads and we know how horny we were at that age, right? Now, a sex therapist not only could be up for it, but knows the ins and outs of it. So imagine, right, do you know when it comes to getting your first bird?
Yep.
And you're worried, like, what if I can't shag properly? What if I can't shag well? Sex therapist.
Yeah, but it's still yeah. But you'd rather have Hitler as like a family member growing up because all right, they can talk to you about sex, but Hitler will just buy me a brass. In it though, like, come on, imagine how much fun you seriously like. Listen, I know Hitler's done what he's done on that lad, but imagine how much fun you'd have with Hitler, lad.
He was committed, Bernie.
That's the intro. That's the fucking intro. Imagine I know he's done what he's done, but imagine the laughs.
That is the intro.
They are crying. What? Burns his families.
And it could have been possible because he lived in Liverpool, didn't he, for a while?
Exactly, that could be our kid. That. So you're telling me, right? You're telling me, right?
9.
You're telling me, right? A sex therapist would be better to have as a cousin growing up than
imagine if not only are they a sex therapist, but they're fucking unbelievably fit. And you're like...
But you want them as a cousin growing up? All right, lad, you need a sex therapist, lad. You need a therapist, lad. Fucking hell.
I think I've lost that one.
Yeah, who are you saying, Gary? Who would you rather have as a cousin growing
I
up?
think Hitler's won that one all day.
Okay, right.
That was hard.
We'll keep our cards here, but don't forget to keep your answer cards and your thingy cards separate. So
Okay.
Question cards there.
Okay, so...
And put the answer character cards on.
okay, so this is the question card.
Yeah, so
Okay. Yeah, so you get to pick a character, Gary.
Okay. I have a character.
Okay. Okay.
This is a Kickstarter exclusive card, this.
Kickstarter exclusive.
We may even find as well, trickled in this deck,
Oh, yeah.
some what's happening exclusive cards as well, because because we agreed to play the new game on the podcast, they've actually made some cards
Nice ones.
that are personalised to the podcast.
I have a QR code on mine.
Yeah, some
you?
of them have got QR codes on. So if you buy the game, like there was you scan a QR code and it takes you to a random YouTube video somewhat relating to that card. It's actually, do you know what? It's a very, very good idea. It's very well made. So,
Okay.
who'd be more likely to drop their baby by accident, but then claim it builds character?
Oh, I've won.
Okay.
You go first.
All right, so I've got John Wick.
Have you? I've got Cardi B.
Bobby, you may present your argument first.
Right, so let me have a look. So, who'd be
likely to accidentally drop the baby and then claim, oh no, it builds character?
So if you've got to think about it like this, like John Wick is he's a very lonely guy. Like he only really had his dog to begin with, and then obviously his dog got killed, sort of thing. And I think the reason why he's brought out 4 great films is because he's actually dropped his own child on his head, and the baby did die, and it's obviously created the character of the John Wick and made the John Wick series. So if it weren't for him actually killing the baby to begin with, there wouldn't have been no John Wick.
So what you're telling me is John Wick's own character building experiences
was through himself dropping his own baby on there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what
I think
else
you might
know.
have misinterpreted that question because I think
I
dropping
have.
the baby is character building for that baby.
Yeah,
It
not
gives that baby thick skin.
All right, then
You're
John
not killing
Wick-
a child.
No, you made your argument.
He was dropped on his head then.
You've killed the baby. You love Hitler and you kill babies. You're a psychopath.
It's not looking good for me, bro.
So I think Cardi B. We know Cardi B, famously known for wet ass pussy, as we shall say. Who was a child who experienced an adverse upbringing and became a stripper herself. So she was dealt a hard card in life. She sold her body as a dancer with a Nellies and a wafer out, a wet ass Pink Panther. So if she dropped a baby, she'd be like, listen, it is character building because this baby's going to deal with a multitude of fucking difficult situations in life. It's got to learn a little fall, a little scrape. Get up, dust it off, move forward.
It's still got that wet ass pussy.
You've still got a wet
Talking
ass
about a
pussy.
baby.
Yeah. Listen, like we were talking about Hitler being my best mate before. I don't think that
Listen,
a bit of
if
a
it's got a
bad,
nappy
yeah.
on, it's pissing and shitting, and it's stayed in there, it's going to be a wet ass pussy anyway. So.
He's got a point though, Harry.
An ammonia ass pussy.
Ah.
Right, so I think that round was a bit of a different round. I mean, like last time we took the more humorous approach, me and yourself, but this time you both applied some great moments of logic. Although you did completely misinterpret the question,
I did.
You still applied unfallible logic to your own misinterpretations. But I do feel like Gary Harlan came out on top there.
Of course.
Round of applause for Gary Harlan, please. Thank you. I think that'd be a great game show host, you know.
Right.
You've got to pick that.
Character.
Right. Okay, you ready? So, guys, I would like to know, out of your two characters,
Okay.
who would win in a street fight?
Oh.
Gary, after you, please, sir.
I have the one and only Hulk Hogan.
Okay. But I want to know why. I want to know. Wait there. So are we going to say your character now? Or, or do you want him to say his point and then?
I'll let Gary proceed.
Okay, go on, proceed, guys.
So why would Hulk Hogan win in a fucking street fight?
No, but you're actually going to have to because it's like...
Okay, I've got stoners.
Oh. Okay.
Donuts.
Okay. So now it's through a little curveball.
What's Hulk Hogan's famous catchphrase?
Can you smell what the Rock's cooking?
yeah.
Woo!
Is it like 619 or something?
Didn't he have a fucking porno or something, Hulk Hogan, as well?
Did he?
I'm sure he had a porno. I think he'd win in a street fight, right? Because one, he was a pro athlete with massive muscles, right?
Yes.
He was fucking crazy.
He was.
And I think what he'd do is, if he got into the street fight, he'd use his upper body strength and he'd capture the person. He'd squeeze them very tightly. Then he'd proceed to tie them up with his long moustache.
Catch the stoners, you mean?
Well, is it versus the stoners?
I don't think it's his version. I think it's just against any
got into a straight in the street.
Oh, I thought it was against each other.
I don't think so. I think it's just they're in a street fight. Or is it against each other?
Who would
I
win
think
in
it
a
might be
street
against
fight?
each other. How many stoners is there? Ooh!
Okay, just to keep it as fair as possible. I won't go with a ridiculous number. I'll say 3.
Okay. 3 stoners. So
Three
Hulk
stoners.
Hogan's going to be 3 stoners. Okay. Do you know what? I might have to concede this one. Because stoners are fucking off the tits. I don't imagine they don't feel that much pain.
Time for another wave from one of the sponsors. Bobby, what sponsor?
Well, you'll be very surprised to hear that it's actually Technicals.
Technicals?
That's it, Technicals.
It's mad that on the telly, flying.
Yeah.
What do Technicals do, lad? What do they provide us
Well,
with?
Technicals is an active gym and sports wear. So, you know, whether you're into your walking your mountains, you know, sitting in your Mars, walking around town buying clothes, you know.
Like me, walking the chippy.
There you go. And Gary's got Technicals on, which he wears to go to chippy in all the time. Every day.
Twice a day sometimes.
Yeah. You know, the thing is with it, though, right? Thing is with it, one thing I hate, do you know when you go on camping, or you know, you're going to be like, say you go on like a little hike or something, and you fucking hell, and you go and you sign up buy clothes that are like, you know, according to what you're doing.
Yeah, contemporary.
And you know, very contemporary.
Yeah.
And you can't, because you go into fucking Decathlon or go outdoors and you come out dressing like you're on a fucking geography school. Technicals managed to keep it looking stylish, but it's still practical as well.
Aesthetically pleasing.
It is
aesthetically pleasing. The contemporary. Some of them are red. They're great.
Possibilities are endless.
You want a blue top? They've got them as well.
www.technicalsbrand.com. What's the code, Danny? Whoop.
It's happening 20.
It's happening 20.
What else you got to say? Get your 20% off. Technicalsbrand.com. Get on them.
What's happening? I wear the hat because it's appropriate because I wore it on the episode. We had some technical difficulties. Camera went off. We didn't notice. Stop kicking off. What are you doing, lad? Camera went off. We didn't notice. Right. So the bit you missed is Danny's counter argument. Hulk Hogan. It was shit. I won. Sound. And then we missed a question about the start of Bobby. Bobby starts talking about a New York dad. Who would you rather have? I think it was as a dad or something like that. But yeah, we move. Apologies. Bye.
Right, so guys, we apologise about the technical difficulty there. The camera did actually, in fact, decide to stop working. So we're back, and I believe we left off. Bobby had a counterpoint to my previous argument. So Bobby, please do go ahead.
So I was growing up with strict parents. At the time, you know, I used to hate the way they used to be with me. You know, don't being at this time, like, don't do this, don't do that. But now I'm older, I appreciate it. It's made me the man I am today. Now, if my father was a stereotypical New York tough guy, wow, would I appreciate that? Yes, I would. Yes, I would, Gary. And that is my final argument.
Well, Gary, I would make a counterpoint, but I believe that my words have already spoken for themselves, and I don't need to cement my point with semantics like Bobby over here is speaking from his own personal experience, which really shows lack of faith in his own argument, having to draw from personal experience and not taking into consideration the rest of the whole world.
Well, as the judge and the jury, obviously the decision ultimately lies in my hands.
That is very true,
It
Gary.
is very true.
And remember, I do love you.
And I know I'm
hate
I'm
you.
in a position of I'm in a professional position, and I have a courtesy and a duty to make the right decision. But you have to lean on emotions and personal experience.
That is
So
very true.
I'll start with you, Danny. So Danny, you did make a very compelling argument about the future generation, society that
The
we're living
fairies.
in, and the fairies.
Future of our species,
I think it's a very, very valid point. And I think it's a point that could have won the argument on many a days. But as a man who grew up with one strict parent, because the other one decided to vacate this planet,
The other one never gave himself a curfew.
yeah, exactly. He decided that he wasn't a strong New York kind of guy, and he was like,
He was just strong.
I'm
yeah.
a fairy and I'm going to string myself. And he got off. So, from personal experience, I think the argument has to go with Bobby today.
I'm walking here.
I love how we put an accent on it.
Lads, this game's brilliant, lads, you know. This game's actually really, really good.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, guys,
Okay.
who would be more likely to fall for the Nigerian prince email scam?
Okay. I can do this.
Who'd like to go first?
Bobby, I'm just double checking who my person is. I think I know who it is.
I've won this. In the bag. Cat in the bag doesn't even know who it is.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what I thought it was.
Stop lying, Gary.
No, it is.
You're trying to throw us off the scent.
No, I'm not.
Okay, now be quiet. Thank you. My time to shine.
Okay.
Right. So my character is Sheldon Cooper, and
Okay.
I'll tell you why one of the smartest men alive would actually be involved in a is it a night?
Do you mean you'd be involved in the scam or you'd fall for the
Fall
scam?
for
Fall
the
for the scam. Fall for the scam.
Okay,
Of course.
I'm glad you understood
I'm
this
not,
question.
I'm not an idiot.
Well, you
So-
Bishop does the question already.
Even though Sheldon Cooper is one of the smartest men I've ever known personally, and I do know him personally. Have you ever seen him knock on a door? I don't know. So Sheldon Cooper, he's really smart, but he will not enter the room if he doesn't knock on the door a certain amount of times and then say Penny after it. I don't know if you're very.
I'm familiar with the programme.
Yeah,
Penny.
very familiar with him.
Penny.
Yeah.
Penny.
Exactly.
It's actually
Penny.
3 knocks, Gary. You're only damaging your own arguments here.
Yes, indeed. So Sheldon Cooper, yeah, even though he's one of the smartest men alive, I do feel like he would fall for that because he's a very trustworthy guy. He's the kind of guy that thinks, well, why would anyone want to pull a scam on me like this? Like, why can't we all just be equal in the world? Why can't we all just have peace and harmony? He would actually fall for that because he'd think, wow, how nice is this person being to me?
So you're telling me that one of the smartest men on the face of the planet,
Of course.
you believe would fall for an email scam?
So,
Interesting point, Bobby. No, please, I'll let Gary.
no. Let me just follow on to that. Let me follow on to that a minute. So, with him being the smartest man,
One off.
one of possibly, the smartest people alive, his social skills just aren't there. He does take things literally.
He's very
No.
autistic.
Yeah, he's very autistic. So, if he was to receive an email saying, I will give you 500 million Uganda dollars, whatever the scam may be, Sheldon Cooper's going to be the guy to fall for it. And that is my argument.
Gary, if you would, please.
Okay, well, I will start my argument, but my argument has 2 sides to the
Sorry,
argument.
who's the person
So
you're
the person I
arguing
have is Marty McFly
with? Back to the Future.
from Back to the Future.
Okay.
So I'll start with argument 1 for Marty McFly from Back to the Future. First of all, Back to the Future was a movie from quite some time ago.
Doesn't even know the date, lad.
I think emails.
Please, Bobby.
Well, I don't think emails were a thing back then.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so he would have been like, what the fuck's this thing? Oh my God, this fella's offering me millions. I could be a millionaire.
That's a
And he
good
could
point.
fall for it quite easily. But then he could go, but I can get in my time machine and go and check him out. See if he has fucked me off. Because if I just take the gamble on it, I can go into the future and just fucking fill him in anyway. So I think he could fall for it because he's not aware of what emails are. And then the second part of my argument is Marty McFly, not as his character, but as his true human self, as Michael J. Fox, who is now suffering with Parkinson's disease and is quite a vulnerable person. So I think he could fall for the scam because of how vulnerable he is.
But, all right, can I counteract that? How's he going to sign any check?
Just me look like the doodle guy.
Okay, so I must come to a decision. I must make a verdict.
Take
Bobby?
them both into consideration.
I will. No, I will. Now, Bobby, your arguments, I do feel, had some holes.
Thanks.
Not a compliment.
I'm saying thanks because I knew it had some holes in it.
And the reason being,
It was like
Bobby,
a sieve.
the reason being, I don't feel like you actually made any points. And the point that you did try to make of Sheldon Cooper being good-natured and of kind heart, if you've actually ever seen The Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
wait, I'll finish, which I have, you will know that Sheldon Cooper is a man who is very obviously an autistic man. He hasn't got the time for emotion or consideration. I will continue as I have two arguments to mull over and a decision to inevitably make. I like where you're going with the door knocking. That stood out to me. I've two knocked on doors.
Of course.
I can relate to that. Very relatable arguments. And I've got a science GCSE. Same as Sheldon. No, Gary, over to yourself. You see, again, Gary, some holes in the argument because you broke the fourth wall. You referred to Marty McFly as his actual off-screen self, and I didn't like that. I felt like you took some of the.
Who's Michael Fox?
All right, Bob. You're not scoring points here, Wes. You're not getting a raise, Weg.
Wes.
Put your phone in the box.
How dare you? Get me IS pop.
And your opinions. But I do feel like I do feel like Gary's arguments, although it did have some holes, I will be honest, it was the most solid argument because, you know, he could go to the future. He's got a lot less to lose if it is a scam. He can just go to the future. He could see that coming a mile off and stop it in its tracks. So, although I appreciate the effort you put in, Bobby, I will have to give this round to Mr. Gary Highland. Do you know what it's like? It's the episode of Always Sunny where they're in the escape room and they all sit down for the meeting.
Now, I would like some gum.
Gam.
Right. Are we ready? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you'd like to just be quiet for a moment, I'm about to read the squabble card. So, who's more likely to lose their kids' college fund gambling? I.e., poker, horse racing, sports, whatever that comes into your head. So, who's more likely to lose their kids' college fund gambling? I'm trying to be like question time with the university challenges on. Hat packs like on my nan.
Hemochromatosis. Well,
So who would like to go first?
Gary, after you, sir, please.
Okay, well, am I presenting my arguments or just telling my name?
Well, okay, so I'll name my character. I have the one and the only Jeff Bezos.
Okay. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting argument because I have the one and only Pablo Escobar.
Oh, two men that come from
A lot of money and
illustrious amounts
fortune.
of various currencies.
Two great entrepreneurs.
So we're talking about who's going to be the most likely to lose the kids' college fund gambling. Okay,
Yes.
well I will start. So your guy is a very sort of clean cut to society, follows the rules. I imagine he might bend some rules, but he follows the rules generally. Where my guy imported hippos into a country where they weren't natural there. He's a bit of a fucking psychopath. And even though he was a multi-billionaire and had ridiculous amounts of funds available, there were occasions in his life where when his children were cold, he would just burn piles of money to warm them up. So there could be a point when he got a bit out of control and there was people against him, other cartels and said good government who were chasing him, and he was on the back foot a little bit, right? He wasn't the same man. He didn't have the same power anymore, right?
Very true,
So he was a little bit of a loose cannon, and he's potentially losing his funds. Shut the fuck up. And he's losing his funds, and he starts burning them to survive. I think he's more at risk because he's making big risks and big gambles within life. So I think he could lose the child's college fund quite fast.
No, that's a good argument, Gary, and I will come back with some points of my own here. And the angle I'm coming from here, Bobby, is I love what Gary said. You know, Pablo Escobar was constantly gambling with his freedom.
He did say that, yeah.
And for the most part of his time gambling with his own freedom and with his own life, he very often won. Now, Jeff Bezos, he is too a winner. One of the richest men that's not only currently exists, but has ever existed. Now, to reach that level of wealth, generational wealth, the Bezos lineage and bloodline, she'll never have to work a day again, thanks to this man's working. He's now branching out. He's not only now the owner of Amazon. He's working on commercial space flights, which is for years by scientists being refuted as something that will never be possible. And he seems to be willing to pump his life's work worth of money into that. And that's an operation which could very well easily, scientifically come with a lot of drawbacks. And those drawbacks, they're not going to be cheap. So I feel like, given his most recent business ventures and Jeff Bezos' constant need for a challenge and his constant need for evolution, he's willing to gamble not only his kids' college fund, but his own life.
You would make a very good defense lawyer.
That was. You know what, Danny? I wasn't even going to pick it just because, fuck you. But I've got to have to pick that argument.
Yeah, no, that was a very good argument.
Yeah, that was very good argument. Put that over there for him, please.
That was a very good argument, Danielson.
Thank you.
Very good argument. This is a good game, you know.
I reckon we do a full page on episode just playing this. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, and get on the ale. Right, let me just double check your microphone.
Okay.
You
I've
ready?
got a picture in my head here. It's instilled. I'm printing it off. I've hung it on the wall.
Who've you got?
Let's hit the question first.
Okay, of course. We're men of reason.
Let's not jump the gun here, Dan.
Squabble card. Ooh. Who would be more of an embarrassment to you if they were your child?
Okay, I like this. Yeah, I like where it's going.
So you're the father of said character. And
Okay,
who would embarrass you more?
Okay. So,
Who've you got, Bob?
I'd like you to go first, Dan, seeing as you won the last round.
Okay.
Winner stays on.
Keep it traditional. Yeah.
Winner stays on.
Okay. So I have a US Navy SEAL. Now, the Navy SEALs, decorated men in the military. The part of the biggest assassination of all time, Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Now, there's arguments for years. Osama bin Laden, he did work for the CIA back in the 70s and 80s. So the reason as to why the US wanted him killed is very much in refute. It's very much up for question. There seems to be a lot of shady dealings going on behind the scenes. Now, although the Navy SEALs are people to be, in most cases, proud of, which you think damages my argument. Well, hear me out. Hear ye. A Navy SEAL, a lot like a Nazi.
Like your cousin.
A Navy SEAL, a lot like a Nazi, is only following orders. Where have we heard that before? In the Third Reich, Gary. And you see, although they've achieved some great things in the military, they're probably very disciplined men. Where does that line draw? The men who follow orders blindly, the men who follow orders wearing the heart on the sleeve. What if one day they get a mission to, I don't know, kill all infants? Would you be proud of a man who killed all the infants? I think you would.
Okay. I'm going to come in with my argument now. Thanks for that, Dan. Take a step back. Okay, here we go. So, it's a great argument from Dan.
Imagine people, this is the first episode they're ever going to watch, and this is how they think we speak.
Bobby, please be professional.
Thank you. Hold it back. So, thanks for your argument, Dan. Made a lot of sense. But I'm gonna throw a little curveball at you here, right?
Curveballs are actually thrown in our hand, but please continue.
This is great.
So I agree with you on numerous amounts of levels about being embarrassed of your son being a Navy SEAL, but I'm gonna throw something different at you. What if your son was in fact a gym bro? So I get what you're saying, but I'm going to come at you with a few more with curveballs. It's a hot summer's day. You're in town. I'm going to go and get myself a cold drink from the Costa.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder what my son's up to. I'll give him a call. Hello, what are you up to? Oh, gym. Oh, great, you finished? Okay, I'm in the Costa. Come on down. He doesn't just come with one of them himself. He comes with friends, because it does say gym bros, so I'll have to do it as a collective. Your son then turns up into said Costa. He's already got a vest up on, hasn't he? Middle of the pool. By the way, he's born and bred a Scouser. You know. Walks in, he's like, "Let's go now, Dad."
That's all Scousers say.
Yeah. But he's a gym bro, so you gotta get with it. So this is a person who's easily influenced by videos that they watch online. Said gym bro videos. Gotta get with it, Dan. Follow it.
Very much with it.
He walks into Costa and you're like, "Oh, hello, son. Have you had a good workout?" He ignores you because he's tensing in the mirror. You can understand why that'd be frustrating, why that'd be an embarrassment to have,
I understand.
So you're shouting for the third time, Gerald! Gerald! Stop looking, Gerald! He then turns around, "Son, what would you like to drink?" "Whoa! I can't drink none of that low market shit." As he would say.
Just if you were...
He's born and bred croggy.
if you were... What exactly is a low mocker?
Somewhere with it. I'll change it back. I'll change it back.
No.
No, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm going with him.
That's a low marker.
Well, Dad, I can't drink a low marker. The chocolate in that. And you're just like, fucking hell, lad. Like, sort your head out. Like,
Don't be stomach hurts.
Well, I'm not finished, Dan. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So you're trying to buy your son a Costa, which is not an unhealthy beverage. It's not like you're going into...
Other coffee companies are available.
Yeah, it's not like you're walking into McCooley's and trying to offer your gym bro son a pint. You're offering him not even a coffee. It could be anything. It could be a bottle of water, and he's still saying no because it's from the Costa, and he wants to look after his buys and tries. Now, to anyone who, like your said father, come on, a Navy SEAL, all the badges, been to war, is a man's man. Or a gym bro. Well, that's it.
No, Gary, I would
That is
just
my
like to
argument.
interject before you come to your final decision. I just have a question for you.
Yes.
Now, both Navy SEALs and gym bros are famously in good shape. You have to be in not only good shape, but the peak physical condition to be in the Navy SEAls. You have to, think David Goggins twice. Now, Gary, what's worse in your eyes? A man who's in good shape who doesn't want a coffee, or a man who's in good shape who, as we've heard before, is just following orders?
But just following orders that led to one of, like you said, the greatest assassinations of all time for a person who crashed into the Twin Towers,
assassination of all time,
organised the whole thing, and the Navy SEALs kill that man. Bravo to the Navy SEAls, I say. Bravo!
Well. That is only, Gary. That is only if you believe that 9/11 was not an inside job. Gary, I rest my case.
Where's the Dean Garner card?
There's the Dean Garner card in there,
Okay, all right.
Excited for this one.
Very long arguments.
It was. I had to get my points across.
Possibly longer than necessary. I think
possibly.
the rules of the game is only 30 seconds, but
I think, is the time limit?
We've massively fucked that
Been
up.
recording for 19 minutes and done 2 questions.
It's the same question. That's such a long argument. Okay, so both very valid arguments. Taken on board. Bobby, I'll start with you.
Thank you.
So, yes, being a man of peak physique,
Of course.
very large.
So you can understand.
Gym bros are fucking arseholes. I hate them.
Yeah.
Can't stand them. Even when they don't want to drink low mockers.
I was going somewhere with it.
It's a very valid point. I would be embarrassed to have said gym bro.
Let me just ask you a question.
Let the man.
Do you wear Gymshark?
I don't.
Why?
Because I'm sponsored by Technicals.
Hey, get on the technical.
Get on the
motherfuckers.
technicalities, lad. Fucking face the brand. Anyway, back to my professionalism. I follow quite a few, and I've unfollowed quite a few gym people because they make me bum all squeeze over.
Of course.
It's annoying.
As they do, yeah.
So very, very valid point.
Thank you.
I don't think I could see any of my children as gym bros. So yeah, good argument.
Ginge bros, absolutely.
Ginge bros,
of course.
yeah. Now Daniel,
Both ginger and brothers.
Goes without saying.
Of course.
Daniel's son.
Gary, yes.
straight away, I had my wall up against your argument. I thought it was ridiculous until you started murdering children, which then opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, oh, okay.
As a father, would you want your children to be killed?
No, I wouldn't. Well, at least 2 of them. But the more I think about it, right, so veterans, especially in America, right, veterans put their life on the line, they serve for the country.
Something to be proud of.
Something to be very proud of.
Massively proud of.
And then,
Bobby, I think you're in the game.
And then, and then when they're reintegrated back into society, there's not enough support there for them. And we see a lot of veterans have mental issues and have drink and drug problems, and sometimes wield a shotgun at innocent people. Sometimes in schools. It happens in America quite a lot.
They are now murderers, Gary.
Yeah, but then people who have saved their country, they're sovereign. They will always be seen as heroes, even when they've had a bit of a mad moment and a bit of a relapse. People always go, but look what they've done. So, as much as it was a compelling argument, I think I have to go with Bobby on this one.
He's gone with the low mocker.
The low mocker.
He's gone with it. He's gone with the low mocker. And I don't blame you.
Just let me just interject that quick.
It was a good argument, though. I'll give you that.
I think in terms of arguments and arguments alone, I think Daniel's delivery was better. I feel like your delivery was quite poor on that argument. Yeah. But
quite a shock that he won then, Gary, if I'm being honest.
But it's just the person who was on his card.
Now, within the rules of silly squabbles, within the rules of silly squabbles, we are allowed what is known as a rebuttal. We are allowed to actually appeal only one decision per game, and I'm going to use that appeal right now. Okay. As not only to
and what's the rules for the appeal?
Well, I'm allowed to appeal your decision, but I'm only allowed to do it once. And if I don't change your mind, I've still lost my right to appeal. Now, Gary, let's think back to a guest we've had on the podcast, a very good friend of yours, Connor Page. You could call him a gym bro.
Yeah, he's a dickhead.
Now, who would you rather have as a son, Gary? Connor Page or a potential future Nazi?
Oof.
You could say I've went too personal, Gary, but I think I've laid down the law. I think I've laid down the gauntlet.
And I think I'll interject. Connor Page, lovely chap. Lovely. Anyone to be proud of, Connor Page.
You're trying to argue not to be proud of him?
Ignore me.
I think Bobby's only further my point, Gary, which I will actually take into consideration when making a final decision.
No.
Imagine having a ginger son with big muscles and Tourette's. That's quite embarrassing.
It is. Do you know what? Yeah, I was thinking that myself. Yeah.
Someone breaks into the house, Gary, who's going to protect you?
Fuck!
Connor Page.
Over a Navy SEAL?
Not a chance.
Navy SEAL's probably in the back garden having a PTSD fit. He's heard the door bang open. Is that a landmine? Oh no!
Not again.
He's been made redundant by a civil bang, Gary.
He could be in this courtroom if the gavel goes down, could he? He'd be fucked.
Exactly, Gary. So I ask you to take that into consideration when making your final verdict.
Don't let him sway you, Gary. You know what way you were going. Stick with it. Stick on the path.
Taking all newly presented evidence on board, and the contradictory statement that I made about your argument being significantly better than Mr. Tidmarsh's arguments over there.
I fairly often have been throughout the course
I think I'd kind of just fixated on the gym bro rather than the arguments in hand. So I think I will rescind my original decision and award the decision to that.
I don't agree. I've got a squabble.
So I'm going home. I reckon we do one more round.
Yeah.
Or do you know what? Right. No. Listen, we're on very limited time this evening, so we will go over to the Patreon episode where we will continue to play silly squabbles. We're going to call it the end of this episode, but thank you very much for joining us. If you have liked silly squabbles and you think you'd like to get hold of the game yourself, we will leave a link to their Instagram down in the description, so feel free to
We won't put it on the screen because we're lazy.
Show them some support.
Just go on Instagram, silly squabbles.
And you can show them some support, you can show them some love, and maybe even invest in the game yourself. It's actually very, very good, and if you're a fan of us, you could even get a personalised
What's happening one, and it's got. Do you know what? And we never even showed them. There was Danny Davies cards. There was Gary Highland cards.
Spell my name wrong.
There was Conor Page cards. There was Dean Garnett cards. There was even questions that was suited for the podcast.
There was.
But we'll read them on the next one.
On Patreon.
On the Patreon.
On the Patras.
We'll see you there. But again, as we always, thank you for watching. Check out all the links to our socials and all of our sponsors down below in the description. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so you can be among the first people to watch the episodes when they release every single week. Thank you very much for watching. We love you. Mwah.
Bye. Sound.